that's shocking progress. Goal nearing, cohort cheering, Joe doesn't hear it. He's monotasking, no relaxing, concentration maxing. One book, one board, one set, one thought. Work will work, will work, work, never stop. One book, one board, one set, one thought. Work will work, will work, work, never stop. Now occasionally, he peeps the world of the tweet and laughs when he sees the player that he used to be. Blank face staring, complex plans comparing while he's dojo training hours a day, playing out positions, transpositions, and growing his board vision. Transition from poser to player, focus without a care. He leaves them complaining in his dust, staying with their week-old ratings. Blast past his week-old rating, each week's a new occasion. He never takes vacation, the work is entertaining, the growth he's maintaining. And now Joe is explaining, hey, don't you know? Welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I gave up on the easy. Sweatwork's what we need you, if sweatwork's what I believe, ratings what I'll receive. Don't you know? Welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I gave up on the easy. Sweatwork's what we need you, if sweatwork's what I believe, ratings what I'll receive. Welcome to the dojo!
Welcome to the dojo.
Check out Joe, he's a Reddit bro, likes to edit posts, and he starts to gloat when he gets the most of votes or likes. Yeah, he's really hyped, really psyched, cause the crowd is really tight and the work is really light. His training plan is the first thing your eyes see, cause he got more follows than my boy Eric Dicey. Opinions on Magnus, Hans, and Karyakin, who cheated who, which engine that he hacking. He got blocked by Short, ignored by Dvorak, but he can't be wrong, he scored a like from Truong. He's got lightning attacks on GM blunders and gaffes, true not over the board, it's only the other chap. Still his 7-year plan ensures the last laugh. Distractions detract from any actual actions. Excuses are useless, he rues his inaction. Awaits satisfaction, the status of Magnus. He bought 50 books and opened up 10. Fools ought to read Psalms, not my system. He's got 30 alt accounts on every site around. Chessable courses keep looking cheaper by the pound. He got 22 databases and 36 engines, 25 chess sets, and a massive clock collection. He bought merch from Gotham, Bra and Naka, but his game history looked like some chess copy pasta. A GM coach that he don't listen to, and if you think it is, then yes, my friend, yes, this is you. But that all changed one bright sunny day when a friend said, hey, don't you know? Welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I gave up on the easy. Sweatwork's what we need you, Sweatwork's what I believe, ratings what I'll receive. Don't you know? Welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I stepped away from easy. Sweatwork's what we need you, if sweatwork's what I believe, ratings what I'll receive. So Joe got into the business, stopped the app sickness, daily practices rhythm, he even upped his fitness. He found sparring cathartic, postmortems charming. With the plus equal minus, he was armed for ELO farming. With notepad and pen, he built up calluses, escape rating paralysis with lengthy game analysis. With sensei direction, he sold his collection. Read one classic and that was fantastic. Now he locked to the spot where they checking off boxes. Young prodigies and some wily old foxes. 3.5 points per box, that's shocking progress. Goal nearing, cohort cheering, Joe doesn't hear it. He's monotasking, no relaxing, concentration maxing. One book, one board, one set, one thought. Work will work, will work, work, never stop. One book, one board, one set, one thought. Work will work, will work, work, never stop. Now occasionally, he peeps the world of the tweet and laughs when he sees the player that he used to be. Blank face staring, complex plans comparing while he's dojo training hours a day, playing out positions, transpositions, and growing his board vision. Transition from poser to player, focus without a care. He leaves them complaining in his dust, staying with their week-old ratings. Blast past his week-old rating, each week's a new occasion. He never takes vacation, the work is entertaining, the growth he's maintaining. And now Joe is explaining, hey, don't you know? Welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I gave up on the easy. Sweatwork's what we need you, if sweatwork's what I believe, ratings what I'll receive. Don't you know? Welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I gave up on the easy. Sweatwork's what we need you, if sweatwork's what I believe, ratings what I'll receive. Welcome to the dojo! Welcome
to the dojo.
Check out Joe, he's he's a Reddit bro, likes to edit posts, and he starts to gloat when he gets the most of votes or likes. Yeah, he's really hyped, really psyched, cause the crowd is really tight and the work is really light. His training plan is the first thing your eyes see, cause he got more follows than my boy Eric Dicey. Opinions on Magnus, Hans, and Karyakin, who cheated who, which engine did he hacking. He got blocked by Short, ignored by Dvorak, but he can't be wrong, he scored a like from Truong. He's got lightning attacks on GM blunders and gaffes, true not over the board, it's only the other chat. Still his 7-year plan ensures the last laugh. Distractions detract from any actual actions. Excuses are useless, he rues his inaction. Awaits satisfaction, the status of Magnus. He bought 50 books and opened up 10. Fools ought to read Psalms, not my system. He's got 30 alt accounts on every site around. Chessable courses keep looking cheaper by the pound. He got 22 databases and 36 engines, 25 chess sets, and a massive clock collection. He bought merch from Gotham, Bra and Naka, but his game history looked like some chess copy pasta. A GM coach that he don't listen to, and if you think it is, then yes, my friend, yes, this is you. But that all changed one bright sunny day when a friend said, hey, don't you know, welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I gave up on the easy. Sweatwork's what we need, G. Sweatwork's what I believe, waiting's what I'll receive. Don't you know, welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I stepped away from easy. Sweatwork's what we need, G. If sweatwork's what I believe, waiting's what I'll receive. So Joe got into the business, stopped the app sickness, daily practices rhythm, he even upped his fitness. He found sparring cathartic, postmortems charming. With the plus equal minus, he was armed for ELO farming. With notepad and pen, he built up calluses, escape rating paralysis with lengthy game analysis. With sensei direction, he sold his collection. Read one classic and that was fantastic. Now he locked to the spot where they checking off boxes. Young prodigies and some wily old foxes. 3.5 points per box, that's shocking progress. Goal nearing, cohort cheering, Joe doesn't hear it. He's monotasking, no relaxing, concentration maxing. One book, one board, one set, one thought. Work will work, will work, work, never stop. One book, one board, one set, one thought. Work will work, will work, work, never stop. Now occasionally, he peeps the world of the tweet and laughs when he sees the player that he used to be. Blank face staring, complex plans comparing, while he's dojo training hours a day, playing out positions, transpositions, and growing his...
All right, my friends, today, oh man, it's been a busy week with the candidate stream and stuff like that. I'm gonna gotta do my notes for KGB, and game I wasn't totally happy with, but I won this game eventually. Also, I need help. I need help. I can't figure out how to change. This is probably too arcade a question for chat, but there's a way in the OBS to change the title for YouTube. So currently I'm streaming YouTube at the wrong title. It says Candidates Watch Party. It's not the Candidates Watch Party. Put it there. Anyways, yeah, that's just a bummer. I cannot figure it out, you know. It is too much for me. Okay. In any case, I need to start this business. And how does it work? We go games, we go submit a game, starting position. And this kid is named Wesley Luo. My name is Cry. And the result was black 1. This was, God, when did this game go down? Had to have been around here. Okay, orientation, black, boom. Okay, so, am I allowed to move, please? Oh, actually, let me go back. We want to have a starting time is 1 hour 30. Darn it. Oh, it's not 13 hours, boss. 0130 increment of 30 seconds. Good. So, E4, and dude was a little late. E6, D4, d5, knight d2, c5, ed, queen d5, dc. A little bit uncommon. So I took, and I'll say, oh, I didn't take. Jeez, Malise, dude. I played knight f6. I'm going to make main line, delete this thing. So, and here I've got 128. And I guess I'm going to say, this is an example of a sideline I have studied, but truly have a hard time remembering what I was supposed to do against it. All right. So we'll say I believe, or rather, I vaguely remembered this anti-intuitive move. It's especially weird, though, as I don't understand what is wrong with the natural bishop takes c5. Good morning, Memphis Reigns. All right, so this he's all planned pretty quickly, suggesting that this weird opening is something he prepared. And here again, I got 0, 128. All right, bishop d3, and I play bishop e7, and we're going to call that inaccurate. I played it quickly, too. Knight d7, castles, queen c7, looks right, intending knight c5 to mess with the light square bishop. Okay, so here we go. Bishop e7, castles, castles, b3. Oh, you know what also? Yeah. I became worried over this move. Okay. So, with the intention that castles, you know, there's both bishop f4 and bishop e3. But black is fine. Okay. I'm okay with that. Well, maybe you could play queen d2 or something like that. By the way, I'm going to check the opening, and with the computer after when I do the final input after the lesson with KGB. So B3 and do things for half a second here. I played knight D7. Also thought for a second. Bishop B2, 123. Queen C7. I got 120 here. Queen E2. And now also here. So this is all fairly natural. And, you know, we could debate B3 on move 9, for example, but it made sense. It makes sense to me. And now I play B6, and this is now the critical position. Decision time for white. So we'll just take a quick look at the clock. Oh, man, it's all messed up. How did that happen? Oh, oof. Okay, how did it happen? All right, let's go back. It says 128. So that's correctamundo. It shouldn't be doing that. And then if I go back, starting time, there we go. It messed up. This is easily fixed. All right, let's now look to see if that's fixed. There we go. There's our clock. Okay, IKEA, I cannot update the title. I'm waiting for the Dojo people to tell me how to do it. The old way I was doing it, it didn't do it. So I don't know how to update the title. I was able to do it manually on Twitch. Okay, so here go B6. And now our young friend, Bill, plays a mistake. Knight G5. I think we're just going to call it a question mark. We'll put it like that. So, I'll call it a miscalculation or misevaluation. All right. So, I think knight E5 is an interesting move. Maybe I'd rather be white. And actually, wait a second. There's a problem with knight E5. Because on knight E5, I can then play knight C5. So that's, so right. So the best move here is C4. I think this is white's best. Maybe he is a touch better. Well, yeah, Rengot, it looks good here, but it's not looking good on the FIDE candidates watch party on the YouTube because I can't update it. I used to be able to, and maybe I still can, but I don't know how to do it anymore. I thought I knew. I thought I had my little algo. I don't have an algo. Okay, so while he was thinking, I figured it out. Well, I think hopefully by the way, if knight G5 worked, I would just be completely hosed. But thankfully, it does not work. All right, now he goes knight E6, and this is also a mistake. A little bit impulsive for him to play it so quickly, given that I, thought I was pretty confident. So now he needs to play like, let's say something like this. And And, well, let's just call it equal. Yeah. Okay, so 96. Queen C6. I guess he missed this. Darn it. Darn it. 0, 1. 15. Okay. Knight f4. Bishop d6. And now he tanks for a little bit to find the only move. Bishop e5. All right, now I have my critical position. Play queen c2. All right. I'm unhappy with my calculation here. Didn't look into White's resources deep enough. I'm knocking him out if he doesn't have anything. So bro, dig deep. He's gonna dig deep, right? So before we look at queen c2, we're gonna look at the option, and that's queen c7, bishop d7, knight d7, queen g4. I think I stopped here and said, this is too much play. Therefore, it's gotta be queen takes c2. But here, when I play g6, we can say knight h5, bishop h2, king h1, bishop e5, and black is like clearly better, something like that. Let's put clearly better. It could be modify it. It's between those two. And then also if g6, g3, we want bishop e5, and again I'm going to say with good compensation. Yeah, like, so White has some questions to answer. It's still, you know, there's still some things going around. Is it a good idea to record time besides moves? If you are playing a classical game, absolutely. And then with the Dojo game editor, boss, boom, you get this amazing breakdown over here. Yep. And unfortunately, I didn't even write how much time I spent on queen c2 because I must have spent some time on it, but I know I didn't spend that much. But I'm gonna put a little bit, like I really did not. You know, I talk so much smack in the training program about using your time, and this was. Usually I have the opposite problem where I move too slow, but here I definitely pulled the trigger too fast. Again, I'm knocking him out if he doesn't have anything special. But he found pretty quickly, found this move. Exclam. Missed this move. And he's got 0103. Okay, so now I take that thing, and that's a mistake. Question mark. So when I do it, now here's a really nice variation that I would have had to have balls of steel to play. So we're going to go queen b2, knight c4, queen a1, rook a1, bishop f4, bishop d7, rook a d8, queen f5, bishop b8, and the bishop is trapped. So then it goes bishop a4, rook d5, let's say queen f3, b5. This is the main line, and we're going to say thing is winning. You could say clear advantage if you wanted to too. It's a really nice variation. We're going to say a really nice variation. Ooh! No, this is correct, right? This is correct. I have to check something. That I'd need to see when taking on C2. Let's go through this again just to make sure I got this. I think, actually, I'm going to copy and paste this because I think this is incorrect here. I got to, wait a second. When I go bishop v8, okay, wait a second, where are you, buddy? So, when I go bishop b8, and he gets out of dodge, and I do this, no, this is okay. The other thing we would need to see, though, is like queen c2, b5, knight a5, and I just park it. Just park it, son. Another nice variation is if queen f3, b5, knight a5, bishop, bishop, rook, queen, bishop. Minus plus. So, then the next one, see, queen takes b2, would be queen d6, knight c5. Black is much better because all of white's minors are misplaced. Knight c4, c2. Bishop e5. A problem. So, queen d3, and that was a hard variation, but still, maybe could have, I kind of actually, I want to just say, I think I saw to this point and couldn't trust it. Here it's also interesting, I think black is winning because of the pressure black can now put on white's king. Someone could fight me on that, by the way. But I think that's best play. You could say it's, yeah, I'd be interested. I'll ask KGB what he thinks. Maybe you could say it's not so special or whatever, or it's just a clear advantage. Something like that. Okay. So. Jan versus Gukesh, I think it's probably going to be a draw. That's what I think is going to happen. Yeah, in general, remember how Jan didn't even try against Fabi, dude? Remember how he didn't even try? Oh, buddy. All right, so here we go. Knight d3. Now we're going to enter the next phase of the game here. A6. I played this quickly. Obviously, it was my intention. I had misevaluated this endgame as better for me. Yeah. So bishop d7, knight c4. Boom. I play bishop e7. Now I got 53 left. As is my habit, I tank when my evaluation of the position declines. Time spent is me coming to grips with it and trying to rationalize or find a way to justify my previous assessment. And actually, I want to add something here. So, this kid played several resourceful moves. This game, this is the first one. Okay, so bishop e7. So if I go bishop c7, which is what I wanted originally, bishop a3, and okay, simple and strong. White can't be worse. Counterplay. So actually I should say say? Didn't appreciate this move when I took on D3. Okay. And now the kid makes I think a key inaccuracy. Rook Fe1. He played it too quickly. So, knight DE5, knight takes, bishop takes, B5, knight D6, and we're going to call this equal. Couldn't find a path for black here. Yeah, and D6 will have to get traded. So, okay. F8, pretty quick. Now the kid plays rook E3, which is weird. So it's like, yeah, positionally, it's a typical story, I guess. But yeah, he's making loads of positional mistakes, and then he's got the tactical resources. So what did I feel here? If 95, I can now play bishop B4. And then, for example, rook E3. Now I can take. B5. Knight D6. Rook E5. Knight B7. Rook E3. Here. Rook A7 minus plus. Wait, it's not over yet. A3. I hit blend here. Some kind of glorious move here, buddy. Well, the simpleton is here, and I think it's gone. Yeah, we're going to call that minus plus. Okay. Oh, wait, I know what it was. Hold on. Not rook A7. Rook B8. Is this correct, Mundo, buddy? It's gonna... It's the same. It's the same. Okay. So. Bishop f8. Now I felt fully in control again. Okay, e1, 55. I take 51. He takes. And now, oh, he offers me a draw here. Unbelievable. My reaction to this draw offer was, how can my chess be so bad that I'm not easily beating players with no chess culture? That was my reaction there. And my gut about the eval here is black is clearly better. Yeah, because of the bishops. Okay. So, I played the weird move here, rook d8. And I did it kind of quickly. A terrible move. I'm playing for tricks on the D file. When I should be playing for domination. Now, if I play f6, I run into knight f4, e6. So, right. Rook c8. I'm not even going to give it an exclam. It's too simple. All right, I have to pull up my notebook here. Okay. Yeah, this was terrible, dude. So, yeah. So, king f1. To me, that seems like the correct move. f6. And now if knight f, and just, you know, f6, exclam. And if we imagine knight f4, b5, terrible for this guy. Arguably winning. White's minors have no play, and White's king will feel the pressure. Yeah. Note to Benny, not a tactical solution. Okay. So. Now, the good news is, even though I've screwed up on the YouTube stream, it's not, nobody's watching it. Some people are watching here. That's good. I don't have to worry too much about getting yelled at later by the tech people, being like, Cry, how come you can't figure it out? I don't know why I can't figure it out, okay? But, but I'm trying, okay? So, b5, right. So rook d8, terrible move. And now the guy kind of loses his mind. h4. And we'll say, first the time, very quickly, 54. My sense was that White needed to play for King f1 and f3. This move is loose and help is loose, loses time, and will help my bees find squares against the white king. Okay. So now, what we're saying the dude should have done is King f1, Knight c5. I guess that was my intention. King e2. b5, Knight c5, Bishop c5, Rook e5, Bishop e4, a3, f6, Rook e6, Bishop f8, Knight a5. Let's counterplay. Try that again. King f1, b5, Knight c5, knight takes, f6. Oh wait, I think I have bishop takes, excuse me. Bishop takes, move variation up. And I'll delete this one. So bishop e5. f6, bishop b2, king f7, f3, and we will say black is better. And we'll say white achieves a kind of fortress. Yeah. Right. So again, the kid is, actually I wrote this in my notes. I said, still, you should have told yourself, right, the kid wants tricks on the king's side. Right. So again, like it's like he gets out of his drama with tactics, and then he puts himself back in the drama with bad positional moves. All right. So, I play B5. I wonder about this move too. I didn't actually spend too long about it in my notes, but maybe I should have. All right, I know what the concern is. So, this one, let's call this probably clearly better for black. Kid would have probably played this. It is worrisome, you know, because he can mess with me at least a little bit over here. No, he's got a little, I want to say compensation. He hasn't given up a pawn. He's just given up, you know, he's given up some things. Yeah. I don't know if it's true, Cry. You might want to actually check if it's true. That's a little bit worrisome. I don't think Rook D1 works. Okay. So not knight C5. And if it's not knight C5, oh, and then F6, we would like to play this move, knight F4. And this is the bummer of before you Rook D8. I want to still play F6. Right, and then he takes it. Counterplay. Okay, All right, so b5. Knight c5. And now I play a frisky move. And I should be doing some time here. So here I have 44, correct. Knight f6, I have 40. A frisky move encouraged by weaknesses created by h4. I felt I was winning here. Or close. Which isn't true, by the way. So, knight c5. And then this is either clear advantage or I think it's a clear advantage, buddy. Yeah. This would have been the prudent. Actually, it's not so simple. I'm going to give it, well, we'll see. This would have been the prudent positional approach. So, I don't know if it's a clear advantage. I'm going to take this off for a second. Because I think his best move is pop, pop, pop. Then I got to take it. Right, and then we evaluate this bad boy, you know. So like here, I do think, is an example actually that h4 being a problem. I'm going to call this clear advantage for black. Now, my coach gets mad at me because he feels like try to like create tactics when I should be playing positional stuff. And interestingly, my opponent, right, is kind of like doing a baby version of it, like moves like h4. He's trying to create some drama without positional understanding. And I feel like when my coach looks at me, it's going to be like my reaction to moves like h4. What are you doing? Like that. So, I go knight f6. And knight f4. Probably a good move. And he's got 49 minutes left. I'm going to say I didn't see this coming. Another resourceful move. So, all right, I played rook d2. And I've got 33 minutes left. And then again, he plays a nice move. He plays knight e d3, exclam. Also missed this move. Now the situation is a little unpleasant as I have used a lot of time to no end. Okay. Right. Okay, now I played, and he's got 45 minutes left. I play, I think, is the only move. Knight g4. And now, terrible move, bishop c3. Okay. Right. He again lets me off the hook with a bad positional move. So definitely rook e2. And here it's not so easy. So, for example, I'm going to take it, but if I go rook d1 here, 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 and he's going to have some counterplay on c5. I mean, I'm still better, but he's going to get a little bit of play. So, for example, I mean, first of all, I don't even know what to do, but if I play like, well, it's hard to even know what I'm supposed to do. Good. All right, consult the notebook. This one I spent some time trying to figure it out. Right. I want to say here, I had seen to this position and wanted to believe it was winning for me. As an example, here, 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 next time. Counterplay. Okay, so let's do this, and I feel like rook e2, knight e2, and now f6. We're going to call this a clear advantage. We're going to call this best play. Is it true, right? Is it true? For example, bishop c3, king f7, bishop b4. Bishop takes, knight takes, king e6, knight here, king d6. Looks good. Okay. So, another move, honestly, you could have considered is rook e8. And then I need to play b4 exclam. Bishop c6 question mark. Rook e2. Now bishop c6 will get tempoed. It's Is that how you spell tempoed? We'll get tempoed. Now we get tempoed. So, yeah. And then also, if rookie 1, which is slightly weird, we just play f6, and it looks terrible. Definitely rookie 2 is the only move. We'll say the only move I was focused on. Okay. Jason Walker on YouTube says, I'm the candidate in our hearts. Well, I don't know about that. I can't even get the stream title to be Correctamundo. You know what I mean? Okay. So, bishop c3, rook c2. That wasn't hard to play. Rook g3. Forced, I guess. Rook c3. Bishop c3 was such a bad move. Okay. So, we'll say, here I felt I was winning, and I am, but it's trickier than I thought it would be, and that leads me into some trouble. Let's say, and that difference between reality and expectation leads me into some trouble. It's funny, Magesh Pankantan, the GM, was like, this game went up forever, man. And he was like, I thought it would be over. I thought it was going to be over right away. I thought so too, man. I thought so too. All right, I'm going to take a quick break, and I'll be right back. Chess Dojo training program was built around 3 principles. The first is that to improve at anything, you need a structure and a plan to follow, something you can trust. And so at the dojo, we have material, whether you're an absolute beginner or you're a grandmaster, we have the appropriate material to get you to the next level. The second principle is something that also can be used to learn anything, and that's called the principle of plus minus equal, that you need somebody above you, an equal, and somebody below you. And in terms of the dojo, what that means is above you, you will have the senseis and other higher rated players who will give you insight and critique, maybe on your games. But at a deeper level, the program itself is the plus that you have to give some measure of authority to follow the program. Your equal is your cohort. These are the people with whom you are going to spar out positions, you're going to discuss books, you're going to play against, you're going to have postmortems. It's a very rich community. And then Bughouse Player asks, what site is this? This is the Chess Dojo training program, and we are currently working with the Chess Dojo game editor. And if you ever want to know, you can always do this !dojo thing, I think. Dojo, boom. And then it'll give you some info on it and the website. Okay, so, let's get back into it. All right, so bishop d6, and I do not have a lot of time left. That's my other little problem here. Look at the time graph. Oh, buddy. I'm descending, buddy. I'm descending. You know, I really enjoy watching the candidates, man, and those guys, dude, they... You know, my coach, if I spend more than 10 minutes, he calls it a blunder, you know? And those guys, dude, sometimes they're taking like a half an hour on a move, and it's just like, what are you doing, buddy? Yeah, okay. h5. He continues for his tricks. King f8. Now I got 18 minutes left. And now rook g3. So, let me make sure I understand this. If h6, gh, rook h4, bishop e4, rook h, king e7, rook h3, somehow hanging out. Hold on, Craig. Whew. h6, this was a key move. Okay, so buddy. Okay, actually, right, before we do that, I thought this was forced. King f8, rook e3, a5, rook e2, a4, ba, rook b2, bishop e4, rook b6, king e7, rook a3. And we're calling that minus plus, something like that. So h5, I don't know if it's a mistake because he's already in trouble, but it's a frisky move, you know. Trying to solve his problems with tactics. Okay, so now. All right, 30. Now on h6, g6 is really interesting. So, trying to say that a later g5 will knock the knight, the knights. Will knock the knights, right? They got their little coordination game going on, and we're saying we're going to knock them. Yeah. Okay. A little hairy, honestly. Oh, what is your degree of confidence in this really, though, buddy? pretty high. Still, it's complicated, right? Still complicated, though. Okay. All right. Now, after rook g3, I played rook c2. I played this instantly on the premise that I am punishing white for not playing rook e3, e2. Okay. Okay. Now, a5 is an interesting move, but even better is bishop e4, exclamation. This move goes to the heart of white's communication problems. Would require calculation and time to think about it. Okay, so for example, rook e3, bishop f5, f3, bishop c5, knight c5. Rook takes, knight takes, and we got a couple good moves here. That one's the best, and then we're gonna call this winning for black. It's still technical. Okay. Still work to do, though. Okay. G4, king f1, g5, hg, hg, king e2, check, king e3, bishop f5, he's all tied up. White is all tied up. And then king e1. Okay, slow it down. g5, king d2, gf. Right? And similarly, if he's going rook e3, bishop f5, king f1, g5, hg, hg, king e1, g5, king, king. Whew! So, right, to play bishop e4 on move 32, I need to see, for example, this very critical bang tempo at the end of the variation, whether the rook's on g3 or e3. Bughouse player says, I tried to register, but what does it mean by FIDE, USCF, ECF? I played in chess.com, but I don't play rapid. What to do? So you don't have a rating. I mean, you could put in your Chess.com Blitz rating and then eventually try to get a rapid rating. I would say that's the easiest thing to do. Yeah, if that's all you got, put in your Blitz rating. One thing I would say, right, is philosophy of the dojo is that even if you want to become a good chess player, a good Blitz player, that you will need to eventually play longer games. And honestly, the rapid rating is like, I don't know, like a 10-minute game, you know. He only plays Bughouse, though. Well, Bughouse player, I'll tell you, bud, I like Bughouse. But if you're only playing Bughouse, you know, I don't know how you want to improve. You're just probably not into improving your game. You know, maybe we'll have like eventually a chess dojo Bughouse improvement. For me, Bughouse is all about talking smack. Like, who can talk the most smack? Yeah. So it'd be the other move. Tried hard in the analysis to make this work. So rook g5 is not going to happen because of bishop e4. But we also got h6, gh, rook, bishop, rook, bishop, rook h3, and we're going to say kind of complicated. And then I could go a5, h6, g6, I don't know. Rook e3, a4, ba, knight h3, bishop e7. That's kind of similar to what we had. Still complicated. So a5, rook e3. a4, ba, rook e2, bishop a6, rook d2, bishop c4, g3. He's then tending knight b2, a3, king g2. And it's not that simple. Okay, and then I also tried g5 here, hg, hg, g3. He's intending knight b2. Yeah, what are we doing here? Hold on. hg, hg, buddy. g3. Right, so we're saying g5, knight b2 is going to save his soul. So a3. King g2. And it's again surprisingly not totally over. So for example, g5, knight e1, right? And also, anyways, If the king weren't on g2, then I could play on knight e1. I could play bishop f4 and rook c1. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Sharukas. Yeah, we got a free tier to just for people to check it out, get a sense of flavor of what it's like. Okay, so rook c2, though, I don't think was wrong, even though I like bishop e4 from probably objectively as well as just like getting to the heart of those stupid knights. He plays h6. So, a good attempt to muddy the situation. And he's got 33 minutes left. I go GH. And I say, this makes less sense if my rook isn't persecuting the knights, right? Because the idea is I want g5 eventually. All right, now it's going to get a little hot. GH6. Whew. Rook h3. Rook a2. I got 15 minutes left. Rook h6. King e7. F3. And now I'm going to play this. I don't know if it's how bad it is, but I'm going to call this the time pressure solution is to grab pawns. And better is a5. So rook h5 is a concern, but then we're just going to play b4. Rook b5. Bishop a. What are we doing here, buddy? Do you know what you're doing? You got this figured out. Bishop c6. Do you understand your life here? Knight d5. King d7. Knight c5. King c8. Obviously complicated. So that's why a5 is a little harder to do. And rook h7 is just poor, I think, because of check here. Here, knight g6 doesn't do anything. Yeah, let me make sure I got that line right. So, and we're going to say, he finally puts the pawn on the right square. Out of necessity. Boathouse player is in. Nice. Okay. So, rook a1, king f2, rook b1, b4, bishop f4, rook b6. Uh-oh. Another resourceful move from my young opponent. Okay, so what we're saying is knight f4, rook here. This is just minus plus. What I expected. So rook b6, bishop f3. The situation is now very hot. Am I winning this? I think so. It's just really, really hot. Okay, my friends. Ooh, this one's hot. Yeah, so now he's got a big choice. And I kind of don't have, I don't know why, but I don't really have time written down for him for a while here. Which is a mistake on my part, but, you know, I was getting down to 5 minutes here, so I'm not going to be doing his time too much. But anyways, so he plays pawn takes. Which one is correct is an interesting decision. Also, there's practical questions. So there's GF, there's king takes, and there's knight takes. Let's do this one first. Bishop e4, rook takes, rook takes. Let's just put the rook on b6 for a second. Should be winning, but won't be easy. King f3. Bishop d6. Rook a6. Tacos. Ouch. Rook a7. No. I can play king f6. So he has a big question here. Does he keep the bishop or not? Wait, yeah. Rook a7, king f6. Check is an interesting move. Here, here, intending 95. What a mess. Again, we should be winning, but it's not easy. And then rook a6, bishop b4, rook h6, bishop c3, only move, rook h7, b4, let's go here, 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 minus plus. That will be a similar variation on the game continuation. So gf, bishop d6, rook takes, bishop takes, knight takes. Poor from a practical perspective, as this is easier for me to play. But again, if we go here, here, here. Oh, excuse me. I gotta go rook h6, bishop c3. Exclam. You know. And we have rook h1 next, right? Winning. Let's get rid of this. Delete. Okay, so here we go. Knight b4, the drama isn't fully over. Rook b4. Rook h6. Rook c4. Rook h7. I just had a new idea actually for white. Maybe, can he wait on the h pawn? No, if he plays king e3, I can keep the h pawn. Now I keep the h pawn. Okay, so we're going to call that forced. Rook c4. Now, he takes, but let's actually consider this move. Maybe that's a nice move for him to play. Yeah, just to say, buddy, I'm going to approach your pawn. Okay, it's really... Okay, so... a little hot. b4. Now, king d3 won't work because I got here, 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 and that's minus plus. So... I think this is a good move. I just came up with this now. I just, I was focused on that rook h7. b4. But what do you want him to do here, buddy? Yeah, if king d3 doesn't work, then what do you want him to do? Okay, wait, I have a plan. So rook b6. And now I have a choice between king f8 and h5. Wait, but I'm going to play... Oh, they're both interesting. King f8, king d3, rook c3, minus plus. Okay, maybe it's not that great, but it's tricky. All right, rook h7, rook c7, and rook c4. I've got 5 minutes left. And I played this, 5 minutes left. And now it's a big decision point for white. So he plays rook h4. After this, I became very confident. All right, so a couple variations here, my friends. Rook, pawn, rook, 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 king, king, king. That's time pressure. We need a Zugzwang. There's my Zugzwang. Zugzwang, minus plus. So, also king e3, b4, rook h8, rook b7, king d2, b3, king c1, b2, king b1. Or rook b3. Yeah. Okay. So now, rook h4. I make a poor move. Does it ruin the game for me? No. And I made it instantly. Okay. So, I'm going to say making things more difficult. King d6, exclam. Wait, this is right. King e3, king c5, king d3, king b6, minus plus, as I will achieve b4. So for example, this is called the frontal defense. If it's, we're going to look at this position a bunch actually coming up. If it's white's move, he messes with me with rook a1, and it's hard to advance, but this one's basic. Okay. Okay, I'm going to deal with that later. So, I played rook b7. He plays rook b4. King, 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 rook b1. And now I played rook d7. Natural, but making my life harder. Okay, so I was relying on an idea. I was relying on my knowledge of the position without the F pawns. Turns out that white's F pawn can be both a hero and a weakness. Okay, oh la la. I still have some questions about how this went down. So, okay. B4, King D3, Rook here, King C2, Rook A2, winning because of the pawn. Okay. Rook D7. Now, so now it goes Rook here, King here, Rook here. And I played F5. Okay, I think this is still okay. But yeah. So I didn't appreciate the counterplay this move contains. So we can give it an exclam. So, again, thinking about the frontal defense, I knew that it was winning if Rook D5 can't be touched. It was real close to me not being able to win this thing. King G5. Whoosh! King A5. Check. King B4. I believe he played F4 here. Oh, Lordy, where am I? Yeah. So, F4, King C3, Rook A8. And we'll say, now it's easy. So the whole point I thought would be Rook here, B4, Rook E5, King D4. During the game and even in the brief post-mortem, I thought White had enough play, but now I don't see it. And now, so I want to just double check this here. Okay, so King D4. Now he's got two moves, obviously. King F5, B3. Yeah, what does he want him to do? King F6. Right, maybe this is what I was worried about. B2, Rook E1, Rook B5, Rook B1, King E4, top. b3. And then, of course, king e6. I just take b2. I'm much too fast. And then rook f5, b3 is obvious. Just wait a second, buddy. Maybe this is what it was. Ah! No, there's no rook f8, buddy. There's no rook f8. There's nothing. What are we saying? Good. Okay. Okay. So this f5 move, which I guess is actually fine. So then we get rook a8. Oh, I think it's resignable here. b4, rook c8, king d4. Here. King f6, b3, king e6. He should resign. Rook b5. And he played on a couple more moves. Okay, so my friends, I still had like 5 minutes towards the end of the game. Now, I should adjust it a little bit because I do know he was thinking over here. Let's give him like 10 minutes here. A little bit weird on the clock, but I didn't really. Once I got in time trouble, I wasn't writing his moves down. Okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to take a brief break, and then we're going to go over these two games that were submitted. When you're in the training program, you can, I'll review games on like the graduation shows and other shows, but if you want to submit a game, you can, and these people have done. So we're going to take a look at these two games right when I come back.
Welcome to the Dojo.
Check out Joe, he's a Reddit bro, likes to edit posts, and he starts to gloat when he gets the most of votes or likes. Yeah, he's really hyped, really psyched, cause the crowd is really tight and the work is really light. His training plan is the first thing your eyes see, cause he got more follows than my boy Eric Dicey. Opinions on Magnus, Hans, and Karyakin, who cheated who, which engine
That
did he
ain't
hack, and
Miles.
he got blocked by Short, ignored by Dvorak, but he can't be wrong. He scored a like from Truan. He's got lightning attacks on GM blunders and gaffes, true not over the board. It's only the other chat. Still his 7-year plan ensures the last laugh. Distractions detract from any actual actions. Excuses are useless. He rues his inaction. Awaits satisfaction. The status of Magnus. He bought 50 books and opened up 10. Fools ought to read Psalms, not my system. He's got 30 alt accounts on every site around. Chessable courses keep looking cheaper by the pound. He got 22 databases and 36 engines.
Okay, so first up we have Chess Padawan. Chess Padawan, if you're in the chat, let me know. Also, if want to win bad is in the chat, that could be cool. In any case, when I review these games, if they don't see it when it happens, they can see it in the Twitch replay. And sometimes we put it on the Chess Dojo Live, which I kind of want to make sure we do. That's, it's hard for, the people then have to parse it and do all this stuff. Anyways, Chess Padawan, let's take a look. Oh, Chess Padawan from the Charlotte Chess Center. I think I looked at one of his games kind of recently. So this is cool. And I didn't click on the right thing anyway. But, logo clubs. Charlotte Dojo, nice. We need more people in the Charlotte Dojo. Yeah. So we're going to go back, and this is our game, and I'm going to mark it. I feel like maybe I did do this. Oh, I did do this. Hold on. I just didn't mark it as reviewed. That's what happened. So hopefully Chess Padawan sees the other stream I did on that. Yeah, because we looked at this. And then Want to Win Bad, I'm pretty sure I didn't do this one. So let's take a look. First, I'll mark it as reviewed before I forget. All right. Fine, good note. Yeah, like a reverse Sicilian. Obviously there's going to be differences, but you can treat it that way. And C6 is a well-known plan that you're just discovering for yourself, and that's a beautiful thing. CD5. Okay, now maybe CD5, but it's important to see that the drawback for this move for white is that your knight now gets to go to C6, right? Whenever we play C6, we're creating a problem, and this person is fixing it. That doesn't mean I have a better move for them, just that we should be aware of that. And this is definitely a bad move. It's hard, though, for white to figure it out. The best move I feel pretty good about saying is D4. However, this is complicated, too. He's already put himself in a little bit of a struggle fest. Yeah, how did it get so bad? So notice that ED4, there's no knight B5. And queen D4, we're going to play knight C6, and we're at least doing okay then. So he's actually in a tough spot. And if I remember right, now that I'm just thinking about it, this natural bishop G2 move is incorrect and should be either D4 or knight F3. And these are all actually, you talked about it being a reverse Sicilian. These are all reverse C3 Sicilians. So now he plays a natural move, and then now he's in a little bit of trouble and plays E3. Okay, now, question. Question. How do we feel about you playing D4 here? You know, that's definitely a question for me. But your move can't be bad. And then this is a poor move. I thought that my bishop didn't have an obvious square unless I fianchettoed, but maybe it gave up an unnecessary tempo. Great note, absolutely. So let's say that your candidate moves, let's just talk about candidate moves, right? This is the most natural. If you were just going to like default to something, it would be bishop E7. But let me stress a couple other ones that you've got. H5 isn't dumb. And the point is, you know, I'm trying to say I want to develop my rook. That's what I'm saying with H5. Okay, so we got H5. We got bishop E6, maybe bishop F5 as well. And then, of course, this D4 move. And it's going to be really tactical, but, you know, if I'm white, I'm like, oh, no. Am I going to get whacked with a D3? I don't know. It looks pretty dangerous. It looks pretty dangerous. But the main thing I want to say for you is there will be some positions when you have to do an extra lose a tempo. There will be. But you should always say to yourself, how could I do something where I don't have to lose a tempo? Right? Again, you need 2 tempi in the opening because you got to get both the bishops out, minimum of 2. Sometimes we play 3 to get our c-pawn out, right? Okay, and that gives the queen some mobility. The c-pawn does some stuff in the center. But in general, we need to make 2. And now g6 is definitely an unnecessary pawn move for us to make. And so again, try to be religious about not giving that tempo up. And that means when you're about to do it, say, is there some other way, right, that I can develop without playing g6? And in this position, there's loads of different ways. I really believe that people should become religious about this opening principle. And what you will see is that your opponents will consistently not give you time. They will give you time. And you need to then not only give away time yourself, but learn how to take advantage of players when they give you time. Now, another shout out I want to give to D4 is D4 is not just, by the way, D4 is not an excessive pawn move, because white has to give us a tempo dealing with the threat. It's a threat move, so it's not a loss of tempo. The other thing about d4 is we are inhibiting white's natural d4 move. So if we play bishop e7 and you're g6, honestly, too, I think they should play d4. For sure, just play d4. Get that done with, right? So g6, so d4, our d4, is a prophylactic against them playing d4, right? We are trying to stop them from doing what they would like to do. All right, castles. And now d4 for sure, but they play d3. Yeah, and you say it. So your notes are sparse, but I like your notes. Castles, h3. Controversial, definitely, right? Giving you time. Now, one of the things I said was that your opponents will give you time. And we, on this fine dojo show, we talk a lot about time. And what we're seeing here is that white doesn't quite know what to do, so they start making these fancy moves like h3, which wasn't necessary. But after they've not played d4, we can feel like, oh, it's a little uncomfortable for them to know what to do. Okay, now bishop e6, I'm mostly in agreement with. But one of the things that's a little question mark for me is when they play d4, which obviously it's weird because they just didn't do it in the last move. But if our move is e4, they can play knight f4, and they are at least messing with our bishop. And we don't want to trade any pieces with this person because they have they have a spatial problem. So being wary of that is important, and a simple move for us, I think, would just be to play rook e8. Now, if he doesn't do it, and we get to play queen d7, great. So let's talk about f4, very controversial, because they're softening their position, and they're not figuring out a way to deal with this bishop. So queen d7, good. I think white should very much consider pawn snip and then knight f4, protecting this without losing time. So king h2, a6. Now, you say, Ingen has been asking me to play this for a few moves, but I don't fully see why. Okay. Let me reframe it. Let me reframe it. Why would we play a6? Right? I don't get it. There's he's not doing anything to us on that b5 square. So a lot of times what you'll see is I will, especially at this level, right? We're at like the 12 to 1400 level here. I will say people are giving away time. White's done it. And now with a6, you're going to start doing it. So when you say you don't understand why, it's like, well, the computer just wants to develop. And while rook fe8 feels the best one to me, I would be happy if you did any rook, or any one of these moves, because you're just putting your pieces in the center, developing your rooks. Right? Looks great. Looks great, right? Okay, so a6, and right, we gave him a square. Now this move, it's probably okay. Queen d6, good. d4 finally does it. And you push. Knight c5. And it just didn't occur to me to retreat the bishop to c8, which may have been a better choice, but I didn't like the pawn structure and center that comes from, but I did like the pawn structure and center that comes from knight takes here. Okay. It is interesting. Yeah, I understand where you're coming from. So this is a little bit advanced, but we'll put it out there. The argument for bishop c8, more than anything, is to say, I want to squish you into a small little box, right? And the metaphor I like a lot is that of a crowded bathroom at 8 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning. Let's say you got a bunch of kids. There used to be families would have like 5 kids. They don't have 5 kids anymore. But just imagine for me, for a moment, a family with 5 kids in the morning, and you got this crowded bathroom, and everybody wants to use the bathroom. So it would be very much to everybody's benefit if some of those kids got, sent off to college. And when you look at white's backfield, there's a lot of squares where more than one piece would like to use said squares. And so when we have a spatial advantage like we do here, our main task is going to be to squish him. So bishop c8, it's a highfalutin move because it's not a developing move, but we are aiming to squish the pieces. So for example, if we can play b6 after bishop c8, that knight is not going to have any great squares. And we are just playing for squish, squish, squish. All right, b6, understandable, snip, snop. a3, loss of time. I get it, though. I get why he's doing it. But bishop d2 would make a lot more sense. Develop your pieces, buddy. Develop your pieces, mouse. Come on. a3. All right, you play the natural rook ac8. And one of the issues you have in this position, which I don't know how to resolve myself here, is what are we intending? What are we doing? Right? At this point in the game, even though white's lost a clean tempo with a3, it's hard to know exactly where our pieces are supposed to go. Like, I don't know of anything concretely on the king side that we can do. Personally, the first thing that comes to mind anyway would be knight a5, bishop d2, and rook fc8. We got to play that rook because we want to get out of the way of bishop b4. And now we can claim an advantage because we have to jump on the queen side, and because this bishop will not be able to participate in the queen side struggle for a while. White has several resources here, though. It's not like he's toast, right? Okay, rook c8, rook f7. You had to do something, right? Boom, boom, in principle, nice. Notice, though, that white does want to trade all your coconuts on the c file anyway. Now, queen b3, maybe not. It might not be terrible. So white's difficulty now, right, is unpacking the situation. And he needs a way, let's put it simply, of bringing these 3 pieces into the struggle on the queen side. And this move, queen b3, is frisky because it might be okay, but it's frisky in the sense that it's enabling like a later knight a5, and that this c4 square is now untended. Well, let's give it a shot. You played b5. You could also play knight d7. And dude plays rook c5. And what does this do? It loses time. You want to bring all your pieces over to the queen side, right? Okay, so what would have been better? I think this would have been highly annoying to face. Maybe it's just a bad move, though, Cry. We have to look. So knight takes, queen takes. Actually, this is just a bad move because we get to play bishop f8. So that doesn't work. That's what I was kind of maybe banking on when this queen b3 idea. I was like, well, you know, can we activate our bad bishop? And notice we would like to play something like knight c3 or something, but then knight a5 happens, and I think you're doing fine. So a gross move, after which I'm pretty sure you'd be better, would be queen a2 intending b3, but that's not the way he wants to play chess, dude. That's not the way. So by the way, your simple and strong moves of putting stuff on the C file, at the minimum, it's giving white problems to solve. Yeah, how does, maybe another simpleton thing he could do, this might make the most sense, is to play rook f2 and bishop f1, just so that that bishop can ultimately be active. It'd be really nice to control this square, for example. Okay, so queen b3, good move, good move, good move. Now you're on top of him. Bishop e1. Yeah, so now you have a classic Frenchy position. And it is cool, by the way, I should have said this earlier, that your pawn consolidates the control of the d5 square. With reverse colors, it'd be d4, right? Game's still interesting. Let's read what you say on queen d7. I made this move to move the queen out of the way in case white's dark square bishop lands on b4. Dark square bishop. But I don't know this is necessary. It becomes well placed to defend the b pawn and advance the a pawn, but I don't really spot this idea OTB. Okay. One question would just be, well, how do we want to proceed? Personally, I like bishop f8, but you would probably have to move the queen anyway. Bishop f8, good. I like bishop f8. You know, once he plays g4, I want to put that bishop on d6. Bishop f1. So I had the different ideas for white. Like, I was thinking, first of all, a problem he has is on bishop g3. Do we have to worry about that? But another way that he could at least try to mess with you is to play h4, g5, and activate the bishop that way. That would be a frisky way for him to play the position. Bishop f1, bishop d6, good move. Knight g3, bam! I uncork this move and offer a draw. What? My opponent thinks and accepts fairly quickly, maybe 1 minute. I sensed that this position was winning for me, but I mistakenly thought that several pieces would get traded down and it would be fairly drawish endgame. What I failed to appreciate was that with perfect play, my opponent still loses some pawns and has poorly placed pieces compared to mine. And this endgame should be winning even with giving up some material for pawns. Well, let's back up a second. First of all, knight g3, I don't understand knight g3. You know, I don't get it. There is real pain for him in this position, though. Real pain. You're just crushing him here, right? I mean, isn't it just like, it's crispy critters. So the first thing I want to say, is, I'm going to yell at you a little bit, okay, is that you should definitely have given some variations here. But queen a2 hangs this coconut. And I guess a key thing to see is he doesn't have time to take this bad boy. So here, and then we can take with the bishop or the queen. And we're just crushing. Just crushing. I mean, this is falling. Everything's falling. And then the other issue for Mr. Tissue is snip, snap. And again, it's going to be kind of hectic. But let's presume this is kind of his path here. Rook takes, queen takes, queen there, it's ugly. And then queen c2 wins the house. I would have accepted immediately too. I would have accepted immediately too. It's interesting actually how fast the game deteriorated for dude over here. Yeah, deteriorated really badly. Now, I guess if we look over here, so white's 1407, and so one thing that feels obvious to me is, this is a game. Probably it looks like played at the Marshall Chess Club, and you're playing somebody that's a little bit higher rated, and maybe just the happiness. It's the happiness of drawing somebody who's higher rated was the main motivating factor in doing this. But notice they really didn't solve their problems. Especially you get here, it's like, oh, you're doing great now. Once you get that thing there, you're touching this coconut. You're the master of the C file. You get to decide when it opens. And the next several moves, white doesn't do anything really to solve their problems. Yeah. One thing I want to say is, when we go over our games, all right, it's not just about chess. It's about knowledge of yourself, and especially, let's just take draw offers as an example. They're always interesting to think about, well, not always, but you're often interesting to think about in in the review, because clearly you were dealing with, like, you sensed that you just sensed it, that it was winning for you, but you didn't do any variations even after the game, right? You're like, this is clearly better for me, but you didn't do any variations. And so it's like you did this thing, which honestly I've done it too, where I'm like, I'm playing this really strong player and I'm putting a little bit of heat on him. So maybe this is my moment to offer a draw. This is more than heat, by the way. This is the full kitchen. This is the full kitchen. Yeah. By the way, I guess Queen C3 is actually the move that we need to consider. I don't know, really. I mean, we could play Knight A3 here. It's just crispy critters. In any case, we did need to do those variations for the evaluation, and a just simple lesson. And honestly, it's a lesson that you will see other people doing this, having the same problem. Somebody's going to offer you a draw when they're winning. The simple lesson is just for you to meditate on this and be like, right. Probably we're just going to, we're not going to offer draws at some kind of hectic position, especially when we're better. And it's a courage thing. And so, like, you're teaching yourself that level of courage doing the game annotation. Okay, great. That's it. And that's it for the show, because we just had one game to do. All right, you guys, I am out of here. We're going to raid somebody, and we're going to be back at, when are we going to be back, dog? We're going to be back at around 2:45 for the Amazing Candidate Show. And today we're going to focus on Nepo versus Gukesh. And we're getting to the point now where they are, the big time leaders. In fact, I'm going to go look at chess numbers on Twitter and see if he's updated his stats. Let's just go chess numbers, chess by the numbers. No, he didn't update it. But actually, I can take it from yesterday. So, wait a second. So he had let's see here. I'm trying to remember even what happened. So if Jan drew He has a percentage of winning the tournament of 25%. This is yesterday's game. And Gukesh Drew also 25%. It feels to me like it's more than that, though, because Fabi lost, or drew. We didn't win his game. And then Hikaru lost, which crushes his chances. So those were hypotheticals, just not taking into account the other players. But given that Naka lost and Fabi drew, it's like, nah, dude. Now it definitely feels like it's mostly Gukesh and Jan. So anyways, we're going to focus on that game today. And we have a cool feature, hopefully it'll be cool, where, we're talking about the eval bar and the importance of letting people know where the game stands. And so we're going to each do our evaluation of the position, and then it's going to average into an eval bar. So it won't be the computer, but it will be the summation of our chess knowledge, and it'll be moving up and down just based on our sense of the position. So we're going to try that out today. Okay, Cry. You need to rate somebody, boss. Who's it going to be? No. Let's try Janu Chess. No idea who this person is. If you're interested in this beautiful website, what we've been talking about, this is a Chess Dojo training program. You just Google Chess Dojo, you will find it right away. Okay, everybody, talk to you later this afternoon.